Jack Miller has been recording the sound of the world around him for over 65 years.
My dad went out and bought a disc recorder. I think I was 7 when we got the disc recorder. And he said, I don't know how to use this thing, and so I learned how to use it and recorded my family. We're a musical family, and that's why I got involved in recording.
By the light of the silvery moon.
Can you imagine what it would be like to have a recording of your grandparents or your great-grandparents singing their favorite songs from the 1940s, recorded in the 1940s?
I wonder her now.
I have that, and it's because my Uncle Jack loves to record.
The Miller family moved to Phoenix in the early 1950s. A few years later, Jack took a job as chief engineer at Ramsey's recording studio. It was pretty ordinary work, until the twangy guitar of Duane Eddy put the studio and Phoenix on the rock and roll map.
That was a big boom for us, because just about everything Duane did was a hit.
Well, it launched him to Los Angeles. He was given an opportunity to go over and work for RCA in Los Angeles. He was recording movie and television soundtracks and some of the most popular artists in the world, from Herman's Hermits to Johnny Mathis to the Jefferson Airplane and the Rolling Stones. I go over to visit Jack in Los Angeles, and I go walking through the big studio, and there's just a couple of lights on, and there's this guy at the piano he's playing. And I walk up there, and he said, do you work here? And I said, no, I'm just visiting my brother, Jack Miller. And he said, your brother's Jack Miller? I said, yeah. And he said, boy, you're a lucky guy. He's one of the most talented guys in this town. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, he takes the stuff I do and really makes it sound good. So I go back into the control room and I said to Jack, who's the guy at the piano? He said, oh, that's Henry Mancini. And I thought, boy, my brother is really big time.
I left RCA to come back to Phoenix to bring my family to a more sane place.
For decades, he made radio commercials, television soundtracks, and promos for almost every TV station in town.
When I first started working in television, people would always refer to my dad as my dad and to my uncle as my brother. Now, my uncle is 10 years older than my dad, but they always thought that he was my brother because he was so much younger and cooler acting than anybody else in the family.
It was Jack who taught me about the sound of places, the sound of situations. I believe that he added that extra dimension to our work that made it unusual, that made it better.
Today, Jack is chief engineer for Canyon Records, the world's leading producer of Native American music.
We're working on an album right now, which is the 25th anniversary album for our Carlos Nakai.
That sound of the flute was not refined until we brought it to Jack to work with and to master, and he found the perfect flute sound. He wants the newest thing, and so many older people are technophobes. Well, Jack is a technophile. And that brings this company, this small independent record label, we stay on top of things.
When it comes to people who have made a difference in television in Arizona, you can't go very far without talking about Jack Miller. So much of what's important in broadcasting in the last 50 years has his fingerprint on it.